Well, the U.S. is set to reopen 4 southern border crossings with Mexico tomorrow.
That's right. Those crossings include Eagle Pass, Texas, Lukeville, Nogales, Arizona, and San Ysidro, California. This comes as House Speaker Mike Johnson, along with several Republican lawmakers, are in Texas to get a first-hand look at the ongoing migrant crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border.
Joining us now is Dr. Victor Treviño. He is the mayor of Laredo, Texas, which sits on the U.S.-Mexico border, and has joined us again. Mayor Treviño, tell us how the situation at the border is affecting your town. What are you seeing in Laredo?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. As a medical doctor, now mayor, I've treated patients in poor conditions in the past. But what we're seeing now on our ground level is unnecessary human tragedy. Refugee families from all over the world are sleeping in our streets with no money and nowhere to go. Now, this is not functional, and we need to have a more effective strategy because communities like ours don't have a resource to sustain all these people and all these situations. We're right at the border, and we're used to immigrants, but this is a situation where we're now seeing immigrants are basically in another situation. They're like refugees. So we have to look at this in another point of view so we might get a better handle on our situation.
I appreciate you bringing us your perspective on this, not just as a mayor, but as a doctor. It's an important one. What, in your view, should be done to not only curb the illegal crossings, but to ease the human suffering that you're witnessing?
Well, we have to have better strategy because we have to get the big picture. I think we're missing the point. Rather than just treating them like immigrants, we have to look at the humanitarian crisis that's going on. And here locally, we can only handle a certain amount of pediatric patients. And now with the cold weather coming in and babies with these immigrant families, we're for sure going to have a surge in our hospitals, and we're medically underserved. And I think communities like ours would suffer the same situation, and that would cause another situation, another tragedy.
Mayor, it sounds like you don't feel like you're getting enough support from the other authorities, state, federal level, to try and help these migrants. What would you like to see?
We'd like to see immigration reform, of course, but we need federal help because what we're facing here are federal issues that we're having to deal with them at local levels. It is unfortunate that we have to do that, but the federal government has to provide more funding, more resources, and better ability for us to do our job because we cannot handle these surges. Laredo is a processing center. Other cities send the immigrants here to be processed, but the numbers that are sent here are the numbers that are crossing in other areas.
You've talked about the health impact, the political complication. What's the economic damage from closing a border crossing where you are?
Well, Laredo is the #1 port in the United States with close to $300 billion a year in trade. And these are a supply chain that's very important, not only to the state of Texas, but the whole country. And if the borders are closed, then the amount of commercial traffic would be diminished, and the amount of the supply chain to the United States would be severely impacted. And we would feel the effects, like I said, not only in Texas, but the rest of the country.
All right. Mayor Victor Treviño, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for having me.